All right, Jet fans, it is Thursday, January 22nd, 2026, and so we're going to do a special report, special Frankie report here on FSPN, because there's way too much negativity going on in the fan base, in case you noticed, or in case you didn't notice. Even somebody like Country Club Connor Hughes, that giant douchebag, was basically saying the Jets have no reason. Jet fans have no reason to be optimistic. There's no quarterbacks. We got nothing, and there's no way to fix this team, and it's all doom and gloom. But is it really? I think we could do a little bit of an early edition Fix the Jets show, which I'm going to do here. Now, this will be just an early edition, kind of like initial thoughts, but it gives you a template or a framework that shows you maybe all hope isn't lost for the 2026 season. And we all know Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji need some wins. They probably need about 8 or 9 wins to save their jobs, let's be honest, because the knives are out. The media notice went out through Zach Rosenblatt that the honeymoon period is over for Aaron Glenn, which basically meant, okay, character assassination time. We're going to kill this man, his character anyway, and get him out of this job. And, with the way the Jet fans feel, about 85, 90% of them, they really don't care. They're like, yeah, character assassinate him all you want. We don't care that he was a former Jet. We don't care that he wanted this job and not any other jobs. That all lasted, a short period of time. We got to get some wins over here. So what are we going to do with this regime? Well, we got to hope that this regime improves, because even if you fire Aaron Glenn, who are you going to replace him with? There's not a lot of optimism there either. So we really have to hope that both Muji and Aaron Glenn both improve in coaching, player evaluation, and talent acquisition. So how could they do that? Well, let's take a look, and hopefully this works. Oh, yeah, there he goes. So first of all comes free agency. Now, I'm not doing anything crazy with these free agents over here. And this is very reasonable. Now, these numbers are based on Spot-Track's estimations, and these are just 8 additions. So basically signing 8 people in free agency. Alex Anzalone for $8 million. He's 31 years old. Malcolm Rodriguez, these are 2 linebackers from the Lions. I think they're easily gettable. Rodriguez was hurt for most of the year last year, but this fills out our linebacking core. Then we signed Nick Cross from the Indianapolis Colts. He's projected to make about $5 million. So we get him, and then DJ Reader. We go back to the Lions. Well, that's a defensive tackle, probably about $5 million. Okay, 31 years old. You see their PFF grades here. Anzalone grading out well. Nick Cross below average, but that's still better than what we got. And then DJ Reader here, pretty good, above average for a defensive tackle. So we signed those 4 people. Now the defense is looking a little better. Now, on offense, what do? Well, we signed Romeo Doubs. That's, other than the quarterback here, going to be the most high-profile, most expensive one. If this number needs to go up some from 14, we can make it happen. 15, 16, no problem, to make sure he comes here. Now, the other part of that is we're going to bring in Malik Willis. Malik Willis for $12 million. You can make it a $24 million contract with $12 guaranteed in the first year. And so he gets $12 in the first year. Here's his PFF grade, by the way, number 1 in football last year. But, of course, small sample size, so we don't know if he can carry that through. Only going to be 27 years old. I like Malik Willis for that 27-year-old number, because that's the magic brain number that I keep telling you guys about. Nobody ever says anything about my theory about the human brain, the male human brain, not finishing developing until age 26, and then you see magically a lot of these guys at age 27, they start performing at higher levels, including Sam Darnold. Well, guess what? Malik Willis turning 27 next year, so we could get him at just the right time. We're going to back him up with Sam Howell. You may have forgotten about him. He's got some experience. We can get him for $2 million. Everybody basically has forgotten about him. He has some potential. I wouldn't want him to start, but for a backup who has some experience and did do some good things. He did have a season where he threw for about 4,000 yards. Now he threw for about 4 million interceptions as well, so that's not good. But for a backup and a guy maybe who has developed, again, we got to take chances here because we can't get the top of the top unless we take some chances. And we're going to re-sign Johnny Simpson for $7 million. Below average. That's probably what he is. He had an above-average season with us the year before, but that was probably an outlier. But I'm kind of going to bank on the fact that AVT wants to go back to California. The Chargers need offensive linemen, so I think they're going to sign him. And so we default over to Simpson. Would be better if we got AVT, but I'm going to say we get Simpson. And again, I'm playing this conservative. We're only signing 8 people. For major signings, there'll be some other people that you get for $1 million, $2 million. And here's the total, $55 million. That's it. We got 90 to play with, if you remember. And we're only spending 55 on these 8 guys. All right. Well, okay, but that's not going to fill out a team. What about draft picks? Well, let's look at these people here. Let's make this a little bigger. I'm only going to count the first 4 picks because those will be our impact players. We'll get some other people who are backups and depth pieces and so forth. But if you just look at our first 4 picks, this could very easily happen. Arvell Reese will almost certainly have a chance to draft him because, all likelihood, the Raiders take Mendoza, so we can take anybody else that we want. Arvell Reese, we grab him. Then with the 16th pick, we take Caden McDonald, defensive tackle, Ohio State. He's on the consensus big board, number 22, so very high likelihood he'll be available. Then at 33, we take Akeem Mesidor, the edge player from Miami. He's right at 33 on the consensus big board, so not a stretch that he would be available there. Then with the other pick in the second round, we take Emmanuel McNeil Warren. EMW, kind of like BMW, but EMW. He's going to be our safety. So we sign Nick Cross. We get EMW. That solves our safety problems. Now, he's projected to go 39th, so he may not make it to 44. But if that's the case, we could take Halsey from LSU. We could take Thieneman from Oregon. So there will be a safety available at 44. We'll just take the best one available. Now, with just and then we had the whole other part of the draft, but right now we don't have a third-round pick, so that would be the end of our day 2, and these would be our 4 guys that we would be counting on to make an impact. Okay, well, how would that look on the roster? Well, take a look at this. If we were in a 3-4, we don't, as of today, know who the defensive coordinator is going to be. If it's a guy like Wink, he may want to do a 3-4 defense. Either way, it's going to work. But let's say we're a 3-4 in a bear alignment. So our 3 down linemen are Briggs, Phillips, and McDonald. And we're using JJ and Reese as linebackers who are frequently at the line of scrimmage. Okay. Now, Sherwood and Anzalone are our middle-of-the-field linebackers here. And again, you could use this guy to rush. You could, or you could drop him out into the flat. Depending on what you want to do, it gives you lots of flexibility. And that's what I like about a 3-4. It can become a 4-3 at any time. It could become a 5-man front. You could do whatever you want with it. When you say, well, what if we have a guy who wants a 4-3? All right, then Reese goes back here, and these guys are here. And then maybe instead of McDonald, we take another edge player, something like that. And you notice Will McDonald's not even on the field here. Mesidor's not even on the field here. So we have backups who can come in and play a big role because you need to keep these guys fresh. So that's the defense, and you see Cross and EMW back here. So those are hopefully going to be big improvements over what we were trotting out there. And then you got Stevens, Brown, Lee, and Thomas as your primary cornerbacks. And we'll need some depth pieces for sure. But then on the offense, in 11 personnel, what do we got? We got our offensive line, Fashanu, Simpson, Myers, Tippmann, Membu, same as this year. We got Malik Willis under center, and that's going to be the big, question mark. I'm assuming we're going to re-sign Hall. I didn't put him in. I guess I should have put him in the free agent category. That'll be another 10, 11. So, but we still got plenty of dough. And then out here, you got A.D. Mitchell. You got Wilson in the slot in this particular alignment. You got Dobbs out here, and you got Taylor on the field. This is 11 personnel. That's a pretty good offense, given if you assume Willis knows how to run it. Now, if we get Malik Willis, I'm going to assume that Tanner Engstrand is going to work with him and also study a lot of film of the Packers and say, all right, Malik, what are the things that you ran really well with Green Bay? And he's going to tell him all the plays he wants to run. These plays are not secret. They're you can watch tape and find them. So I would think that we would adapt the offense, hopefully, to what Willis really likes and is good at, and what he ran to do so well in the handful of games he played for the Packers. Now, then on the backups, we got Mechie and Isaiah Williams for wide receivers. We got Will McDonald to become a key sub-package rotational player. You can move Will McDonald all over the place. You can have him on the line. You could have him over here. You could move him around. So that's good. We got good backup wide receivers, Mechie, Isaiah Williams. And we got a bunch of, and we're starting to build things out. Now, we do need some backups and things, but, Mesidor's not even on this graphic here. So he's a backup, and, we'll sign a few more, lower level people. But just looking at the sort of like the first team here, this is a respectable defense, I think. And on the offensive side, it has a chance of being really good if Willis is what he showed it with the Packers. If he continues that level play, he's an elite quarterback. He's probably not going to be that good, but you could have hope that, he could be pretty good. And then this is a team that you could win some games with. Not going to be, not going to be going to the Super Bowl here, but that's a respectable team that maybe you could fight for a playoff spot. 8, 9 wins. I mean, I think that Mooj and AG need 8 or 9 wins to get buy-in from the fans, and I think they kind of realized the mess they're in. The fans are very toxic right now. But with this type of team, and again, you have money to spend, even if you wanted to go crazy and try to bring in Linderbaum and go nuts. Even if you add in let's say it's 10 that Brees gets. All right, now we're at 65. So we still have 35 to spend. Easy, and we can always create more. So you want to go after Linderbaum? All right, we'll make him a crazy offer. Don't know if he's going to come here. Might want to go back with Harbaugh with the Giants. I don't know. But if we blow him out of the water at 22, 23 a year, you might come here. You want to go after, I don't know what else you want to go. Want to go after another defensive tackle or another edge player? You want to bring in Jadeveon Clowney for 10? No problem. Jadeveon Clowney wants to come in for 10. We got the money. That's another good edge player we can have to rotate in. Or somebody like that. So, I mean, you want to bring in, I wouldn't mind bringing in Carl Lawson for $3, $4, $5 million. Why not? You need lots of these people. And they can't be the Braden McGregors of the world who honestly are just practice squad players and always should have been. He played way too many snaps for us last year. He's no good. So those type of people can't be playing for you. But that's just an initial look, early edition. I just want to say it's not as hard as people are making it out to be. Now, what if Malik Willis stinks? Well, then you go to Sam Howell and maybe you find something there. Probably not. But then at that point, it's going to be another lost season. And depending on what Woody wants to do, you stick with Glenn and Mooj and maybe everything is good. But let's say the defense improves to 18th in the league. We're 31st now. We go 31 to 18. All right, now you maybe got a defense. And the offense, it's clear, again, that the problem was the quarterback. It'll be annoying. But then they would just say, well, we got 3 first-round picks in 27. We're going to get our quarterback in the draft. And hopefully, with enough infrastructure around him, he won't take forever to develop. So we don't have to wait to 28. But it may not be, the point of this video, it may not be as dire as people make it out to be. Maybe we can't get all these people, but really you should be able to get them with, and if they want a little bit more, you just bump it up $1 million or $2 million. These guys have to take the money when it's offered to them. They have very short careers. They got to take the best offer for the most part, unless you're, a quarterback or some other situation. For the most part, these guys have to take the best offer, and if we just make them the best offer, as long as it's not outrageous, as long as it's not Le'Veon Bell situation that kind of contract, as long as it's not that, fine, make them the best offer. I mean, we got to pay a Jets tax anyways. That's just part of being a Jet. It's just the way it goes. So, and in that graphic, I don't even have DJ Reader in there either. So there's another depth piece. I just realized. And Rodriguez obviously is a depth piece. So we're even building some depth pieces in here. So it may not be as bad as people are trying to make it out to be for you. If you have any questions or comments, write them down and save them for Coffee with Frankie. We do Coffee with Frankie on Sundays, 10 a.m. Let's talk about it live. Nobody gets any value out of people writing a comment underneath the video because you can't go and explain the answer in a comment. Who wants to sit there writing a whole novel of context that you need? So save it for Coffee with Frankie. Bring it up at that time, and we'll talk about it. And to be a Coffee with Frankie chatter, you got to be a subscriber. So you got to subscribe to the channel down below. That's free. And if you want to support the channel, well, then you can be a member of the Inner Circle. $2 a month gets you lots of exclusive content, things nobody else has. You want to be in the know. You want to know what's really going on. You become an Inner Circle member. Click the join button down below, and I will see you next time.